stop. Whatever you were doing, whatever was pulling at your attention, let it die for the next 30 minutes. Because what you're about to hear is not entertainment. It's not motivation. It's surgery. For the next half hour, I'm going to take a blade to the soft parts of your mind, the parts that keep you small, the parts that beg for approval, the parts that flinch when the world shows its teeth. And when I'm done, you will not be the same person who pressed play. 500 years ago, a Florentine diplomat sat in exile, watching the men he once served destroy themselves through weakness, sentiment, and the desperate need to be loved. He picked up a pen, and he wrote the most dangerous book ever written about human nature. Not because it was cruel, but because it was true. His name was Machiavelli. And tonight, he becomes your teacher. Understand this before we begin. The world is not what you were told. The kind do not inherit it. The honest are not rewarded. The patient are not protected. The world belongs to the ones who see clearly and act without flinching. That's what this is. A reset. A reformatting of every soft assumption that has kept you bleeding in places no one can see. So here's what I want from you. Right now, before we go deeper, I want you to drop a phrase in the comments. 2 words. Carve them in. Type, "I am unreachable," not as a wish, as a declaration, because by the end of this monologue, it will be the truth. The first truth, kill the illusion. The first lesson is the one that will hurt the most. So I'll give it to you without anesthesia. People are not who they pretend to be, and the faster you accept this, the faster you stop bleeding. Every smile hides a calculation. Every compliment carries a price. Every promise is conditional, bound to the moment, the mood, the usefulness you provide. This is not cynicism. This is architecture. This is how human beings are built, beneath the costumes they wear in public. Machiavelli wrote that men are ungrateful, fickle, deceitful, cowardly, and greedy. Read that sentence again. He did not write it because he hated humanity. He wrote it because he studied it closely for decades, in courts and battlefields and bedrooms where empires were traded like coins. You have been taught to see the best in people. That teaching has cost you. It has cost you opportunities you never saw being stolen. It has cost you relationships that drained you while smiling. It has cost you years spent waiting for someone to become who you imagined they were. Stop imagining. Start observing. Watch what people do when they think no one is watching. Watch who they become when they need something from you. Watch how quickly the warmth disappears when you stop being useful. These are not betrayals. These are revelations. The mask was always temporary. You were just too kind to notice. From this moment forward, you will see clearly. Not coldly, clearly. There is a difference. The cold man hates. The clear man simply knows. And knowing is the beginning of power. Type it again in the comments below. Burn it into your spine until it becomes part of you. I am unreachable. Let it become your bone. Let it become the law you obey. The art of silence. Here is something the loud will never understand. Silence is the most violent weapon a man can carry. Not silence born of fear. Not the silence of the coward who cannot find his words. I am speaking of a different silence. The silence of a man who has seen everything, weighed everything, and decided that nothing requires his response. That silence is a knife, and most people will never learn to wield it. Machiavelli understood this. He watched princes destroy themselves with their own mouths. They explained too much. They justified. They defended themselves to people who were not their judges. And in doing so, they gave away the one thing power cannot survive without: mystery. When you explain yourself, you shrink. When you defend yourself, you confirm the attack. When you argue with fools, you become indistinguishable from them. The man who says less is the man who controls more, because the unknown cannot be predicted, and the unpredictable cannot be controlled. Watch how the weak operate. They announce their plans. They broadcast their pain. They confess their strategies to people who have not earned their trust. They mistake noise for presence, and they are devoured for it. Every word they spill becomes ammunition in someone else's hand. You will not make this mistake again. From now on, your mouth becomes a vault. Your moves become a whisper. Your plans live behind a closed door, and the door has no handle on the outside. Let them wonder. Let them theorize. Let them invent stories to fill the silence you refuse to break. Their confusion is your protection. When attacked, do not flinch. When provoked, do not perform. When questioned, do not unravel. The man who feels no need to be understood becomes impossible to manipulate, and the man who cannot be manipulated cannot be broken. This is the second pillar. Build it. Drop the phrase again. In the comments, let it sink deeper into bone. I am unreachable. The mask you must wear. Now we move into darker territory. Pay attention, because this is where most men refuse to listen, and that refusal is exactly why they remain prey. Every powerful man in history wore a mask, not because he was a liar, but because he understood that the raw self, the unfiltered self, the soft and bleeding self, is not for public consumption. The world does not deserve your truth. The world has not earned it. And the moment you forget that, the world will use it against you. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must learn to be a fox and a lion. The lion to frighten the wolves, the fox to recognize the traps. A man who is only a lion walks into every snare laid before him. A man who is only a fox is hunted the moment his cunning is discovered. You must be both, always both. Your mask is not deception. Your mask is discipline. It is the version of you the world is allowed to meet, composed, measured, undisturbed. Behind it lives the real man, with his fire and his wounds and his hunger. But that man stays hidden. That man is for you alone. Most people cannot do this. They wear their emotions like cheap jewelry, flashing every feeling at every passerby. They tell their enemies how they feel. They tell their friends what they fear. They tell strangers what they want. And then they wonder why every door closes the moment they approach it. You will be different. When you walk into a room, no one will read you. When you speak, no one will know what you withhold. When you lose, no one will see the wound. When you win, no one will see the celebration. You will become a surface so still that men will see only their own reflections in you, and they will mistake their reflection for understanding. That misunderstanding is your fortress. Train your face. Train your voice. Train the pause before you respond. Train the smile that reveals nothing. Train the eyes that observe without announcing what they see. This is not performance. This is armor. And in a world built on predators, armor is not optional. It is survival. The mask is not who you are. The mask is what protects who you are. Wear it like a king. Drop the phrase again. In the comments, let it become muscle memory. I am unreachable. The law of detachment. Now listen closely, because this lesson will save your life more times than you can count. Detachment is not coldness. Detachment is not cruelty. Detachment is the most refined form of strength a human being can develop, and it is the single trait that separates the men who rule their lives from the men who are ruled by everything around them. Most people are slaves, not to chains, to outcomes. They are slaves to whether the message gets answered. slaves to whether the deal closes, slaves to whether the woman stays, slaves to whether the crowd claps. Their entire emotional state is held hostage by events outside their control, and they call this living. It is not living, it is a leash, dressed in human skin. Machiavelli understood that fortune is a woman who favors the bold but punishes the desperate. The man who needs the outcome too much will never receive it. The man who clings will always be discarded. The man who chases will always be the one chased away. This is not mysticism. This is the cold mechanics of human attraction, human negotiation, human power. Need repels. Detachment magnetizes. Understand what detachment actually means. It does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop needing. There is a chasm between those two words, and inside that chasm lives every form of freedom you have ever wanted. You will still pursue, you will still build, you will still desire. But the pursuit will no longer own you. The building will no longer define you. The desire will no longer determine whether you sleep peacefully at night. You will move toward what you want with the calm certainty of a man who knows that if it does not come, he will simply build something better. This is the posture of power. This is the energy that bends rooms toward you without a word being spoken. People can feel need. People can smell desperation through a screen, through a wall, through 1,000 miles of distance. And the moment they sense it, they begin to take. Detachment closes that door forever. Practice this in small things first. The text that goes unanswered, let it. The opportunity that slips away, let it. The person who walks out, hold the door. Do not chase, do not explain, do not perform little tricks to bring them back. Let them go, and watch how often they return on their own, drawn by the gravity of a man who does not pull. Become the still point. Become the man whose mood does not bend to the weather of other people's behavior. Become the one who watches storms pass through the lives of others while your own sky remains unmoved. This is not numbness. This is sovereignty. And sovereignty is the rarest currency on earth. The detached man cannot be bribed. The detached man cannot be threatened. The detached man cannot be seduced into self-destruction. He has nothing the world can hold over him, because he holds himself. Drop the phrase again in the comments. Let it carve itself into the foundation of who you are becoming. I am unreachable. The weapon of patience. Now we arrive at the trait that separates men from boys, kings from courtiers, predators from prey. Patience. Not the soft patience the world preaches, not the patience of waiting in line. I am speaking of strategic patience, the patience of the hunter who watches his target for hours before moving a single muscle, the patience of the chess master who sees 14 moves ahead while his opponent celebrates a small capture. The patience of a man who knows that time, more than talent, more than luck, more than force, is the ultimate weapon in human affairs. Machiavelli watched empires rise and fall, and he noticed something the impatient never see. The men who rushed were always destroyed. The men who reacted were always outmaneuvered. The men who needed it now were always the ones who walked away with nothing. But the patient man, the one who could wait through humiliation, through obscurity, through years of silence, that man eventually held everything in his hands while his rivals bled out from wounds they inflicted on themselves. The world is designed to make you impatient. Notifications, algorithms, instant everything. Every screen you touch is engineered to shorten your attention, accelerate your urges, and trick you into believing that delay is failure. This is the great deception of the modern age. Because in reality, the man who can wait has already won. He simply has not collected the prize yet. Understand the architecture of patience. It is not passive. It is the most aggressive stance a man can take. The patient man is gathering. He is observing. He is positioning. He is letting his enemies exhaust themselves on each other while he preserves his strength. He is letting opportunities mature like fruit on a branch, refusing to pluck them green and bitter when one more season would have made them gold. Most people destroy their own lives by reaching too soon. They take the first offer. They marry the first comfort. They fight the first insult. They reveal the first plan. They quit the first hard week. And then they wonder why the great rewards always seem to land in the hands of others. The rewards landed in those hands because those hands knew when to stay closed. Train yourself in this. When you are angry, wait. When you are excited, wait. When you are afraid, wait. When the world demands an immediate answer, wait. The pause is where your power lives. The pause is where the weak reveal themselves, and the strong choose their moment. The pause is the workshop in which strategy is forged. Anything that cannot survive your pause was never meant for you in the first place. You will lose battles you could have won by waiting. You will let small slights pass by waiting. You will let loud men exhaust their lungs by waiting. And then, when the moment is ripe, when the ground is yours, when your enemies have spent themselves, you will move once. Cleanly, decisively, without warning, and the matter will be finished. This is the rhythm of power. Stillness, 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 and then the strike. Never the other way around. The impatient man dies poor in everything that matters. The patient man inherits the earth. Drop the phrase again in the comments. Let it settle into the slow, deep place where real men are made. I am unreachable. The study of men. Now we enter the discipline that Machiavelli considered the highest art a man could master. The study of human beings. Most people walk through their entire lives blind. They meet 1,000 faces and read none of them. They are shocked when they are betrayed, stunned when they are used, devastated when the friend turns out to be the enemy. And every time, they whisper the same useless sentence to themselves, "I never saw it coming." Of course you never saw it coming. You were not looking. You were too busy hoping. Hope is not observation. Hope is the fog that hides the cliff edge. And the man who walks through life on hope alone will eventually walk straight off it. You will not be that man. From this point forward, you become a student of human nature. Every interaction is data. Every word, every silence, every glance, every hesitation, information. You will read people the way a general reads a battlefield, not with paranoia, with precision. Begin with the eyes. The eyes always tell the truth before the mouth invents the lie. Watch when they widen, when they narrow, when they look away, when they lock too long. The face is a script the soul is constantly leaking through, and the man who learns to read it can predict behavior before it happens. Then study the patterns. People do not act randomly. They repeat. The man who lied to you once will lie again. The woman who left when things got hard will leave again. The friend who spoke poorly of others to you will speak poorly of you to others. Character is not what people declare. Character is what people repeat. Watch the repetition. Trust the repetition. The repetition is the truth. Then study the motives. Every human being is driven by a small handful of forces: fear, vanity, hunger, insecurity, ambition, the need to be seen. When you understand which one drives the person in front of you, you understand them more deeply than they understand themselves. The vain man will betray you for flattery from someone else. The fearful man will abandon you the moment courage is required. The hungry man will side with whoever feeds him next. None of this is good or evil. It is simply mechanism. And mechanisms can be predicted. Machiavelli wrote that a wise prince must understand the nature of men so deeply that he can anticipate their movements before they make them. This is not manipulation. This is awareness. The man who cannot read others is at the mercy of others. The man who reads fluently walks through the world with a map no one else can see. But here is the harder lesson, and you must take it without flinching. You will study yourself with the same merciless eye. You will identify your own vanities, your own fears, your own hungers, your own places where you can be played. Because if you do not know your own weaknesses, someone else will discover them first, and they will use them against you while you are still pretending they do not exist. The unexamined man is a puppet, even when he believes he is free. His insecurities pull his strings. His unhealed wounds choose his partners. His unspoken fears choose his career. He calls these choices his life, but they were never his. They were the choices of the boy inside him who never grew up, never faced himself, never sat alone in the dark and made peace with what he found. You will sit in that dark. You will face what you find. And you will emerge with something most men never possess: true self-knowledge. The kind that cannot be flattered, cannot be flinched from, cannot be sold back to you in a smaller, prettier package. When you know yourself completely and others partially, you become unreadable, while everyone around you remains transparent. That asymmetry is power. Drop the phrase again in the comments. Let it carve a deeper groove into the man you are becoming. I am unreachable. The discipline of fear. Now we approach the lesson that will redefine what you thought strength even was. Because most men misunderstand fear completely. They treat it as an enemy to be defeated, a weakness to be hidden, a flaw to be cured, and in that misunderstanding, fear quietly rules their lives from the shadows it was never asked to leave. Hear this clearly. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is your compass. Fear is the most honest signal your nervous system will ever send you, and the man who learns to read it instead of run from it gains access to a level of clarity that the comfortable will never know. Machiavelli understood something the soft modern world has forgotten. He wrote that it is far safer to be feared than loved, if one cannot be both. Read that carefully. He did not say it is better. He said it is safer. Because love is a leash held by another hand. Love can be withdrawn the moment your usefulness fades, the moment a better option appears, the moment the wind changes direction. But fear, respect, gravity, the quiet weight a serious man carries into every room, that does not vanish with the mood. That endures. But before you can be feared by others, you must first stop being ruled by your own fear. And this is where most men collapse. They spend their entire lives running from the small fears, the fear of rejection, the fear of looking foolish, the fear of disappointing strangers, the fear of standing alone, the fear of the silence that follows when you finally say no. These small fears govern almost every decision they make. They take the safe job. They keep the dying friendship. They swallow the words that needed to be spoken. They stay loyal to people who stopped deserving loyalty years ago. And they call this peace. It is not peace. It is captivity, wearing the costume of comfort. You will walk a different path. You will turn toward the fear instead of away from it. You will sit with it. You will study it. You will ask it what it is trying to protect. And then you will examine whether that thing still deserves protection. Most fears, when finally questioned, dissolve. They were never real threats. They were old programs running on outdated hardware, installed by people who needed you obedient, small, and predictable. The fear of rejection, examine it, and you will find it, is just the boy in you who once needed everyone's approval to feel safe. He does not need it anymore. You can let him retire. The fear of failure, examine it, and you will find it, is just the voice of someone who once made you believe your worth depended on your performance. They were wrong. You can let that voice go silent. The fear of being alone, examine it, and you will find it, is the deepest fear of all, and the one that has cost you the most. Because the man who fears being alone will tolerate every form of betrayal rather than face the silence. He will stay in rooms that drain him. He will keep company that diminishes him. He will accept treatment he would never accept from himself. Until he learns to be alone, fully, peacefully, contentedly alone. He will never be free. He will always be negotiating with people who know exactly how much he needs them. Become the man who can sit alone in a room with himself and feel no urgency to leave. That man cannot be manipulated. That man cannot be rushed into bad decisions by loneliness. That man chooses his company instead of clinging to it. Once you have mastered your own fear, something strange happens in the world around you. Other people begin to feel it. They sense the weight you now carry. They sense that you cannot be moved by the small levers they use on everyone else. They sense that you have nothing they can take from you, that you have not already prepared to lose. And in that sensing, they treat you differently. They speak to you with more care. They lie to you less. They test you less. Because predators recognize when they have walked up to something that will not flinch. This is the gravity of the unafraid man. It is not aggression. It is presence, and it is built quietly, alone, in the long hours when no one is watching. Drop the phrase again in the comments. Let it become the iron in your spine. I am unreachable. The final rewiring. We are near the end now, and what I am about to give you is the lesson that ties every other lesson together. Without it, the rest is just philosophy. With it, the rest becomes a life. Loyalty to yourself. Not selfishness, not arrogance, not the cheap individualism the world sells in slogans. I am speaking of a deeper, older, harder thing, the unbreakable contract a man makes with his own becoming. The promise that no person, no comfort, no fear, no fleeting emotion will ever again be allowed to drag him backward into the version of himself he has outgrown. Most men break this contract 1,000 times before they ever know it existed. They abandon themselves slowly. They abandon themselves in small surrenders. The dream they stopped pursuing because someone laughed at it. The standard they lowered to keep a relationship that was already dying. The truth they swallowed because the room was not ready to hear it. The discipline they released because one bad week convinced them they were not built for greatness. Each surrender feels small in the moment, but stacked over years, they become a man's entire life. And then he wonders, in the quiet hours, why he no longer recognizes the face in the mirror. You will not be that man. From this moment forward, you keep your word to yourself the way a soldier keeps his oath. The promises you make in the silence of your own mind become law. When you say you will rise early, you rise. When you say you will train, you train. When you say you will walk away, you walk, and you do not look back. The world will test these promises. The world will offer you reasons, exceptions, soft excuses, dressed in the language of self-care. Refuse them, because every time you keep a promise to yourself, you become more real. And every time you break one, you become more ghost. Machiavelli understood that a prince who cannot govern himself can never govern anything else. The kingdom is built inside first. The discipline, the silence, the patience, the detachment, the mask, the study of men, the mastery of fear, all of it is meaningless if you cannot trust the man who carries it. You must become a man you would follow, a man whose word means something even when no one is listening, a man whose standards do not bend when the lights go out. This is the rewiring. Not a trick, not a hack, a reformation of the soul, carried out in 1,000 quiet decisions made when no one is watching. The world will not applaud this work. The world rarely notices it until it is already complete, and by then, you will not need the applause. You will have something better. You will have yourself. Look at who you were before you pressed play. The man who flinched, the man who explained, the man who chased, the man who needed. He served his purpose. He brought you here, but he is not coming with you into what comes next. Leave him with gratitude and walk forward without him. The man who walks out of this monologue is not the same man who walked in. He is quieter, heavier, more dangerous in the way that calm men are dangerous. He has been rewired, and the world will feel it before he ever has to announce it. Drop the phrase again in the comments, louder this time, deeper this time, like a man finally claiming what was always his. I am unreachable.